Now, as you can see here, we've built an entire journey for a new hire buddy program, and we're going to show you every single action so that you can adapt this journey to your own needs and verify it in whatever way you want. So in this particular journey, we have a new hire joining the company. So the first thing we want to make sure happens is that we want to get a little bit of additional information from them, so to make sure that we can reuse that information at later stages in the journey. So in this case, we're going to start by sending them a form, and the form is going to say something like, "Hey, welcome to this company. Excited to have you on board, but please fill out this form link to really make sure that we can get the onboarding experience as smooth as possible." And so they get this link sent to their in this case it's an email. It's not a text or anything else. So they click the link and they get a form that looks something like this. It's going to ask them about their first start date, which we could also have put in manually. Departments that they're joining, emails, LinkedIn profile, interests, and if they have a preference for a buddy, to basically put it in here. Now, of course, you can easily add some other questions, but this is just an example of a form that someone might get on their first day of work. Often, just to mention it, a form like this would often be sometimes part of a longer form where you're asking about things for payroll and such things for onboarding in general. But for the purposes of this particular demo here, we're just going to kind of have a few items for the buddy themselves. So the buddy fills out this form, and immediately after they fill out the form, they're going to get a text message which just says some confirmation text. Thank you for submitting the information. We're very excited to have you on your first day. Now, once they get that confirmation, immediately after, we're going to send an email to this individual's supervisor. Now, that email is going to, sorry about that. Yeah, I could see a mistake here. Send this to the supervisor. Now, this email is going to go to the supervisor, and it's going to say, dear supervisor's first name or name, this individual is joining us on this date. Please help us select an appropriate buddy for them. In this case, it's going to have the link to the buddy, and it's also, in case that they have a preference, it's going to include that information here. So if they had a preference for a buddy that they filled in the form above here, that information would show up here. So the supervisor gets this form, and if we just take a look at that form really quickly, we just made a simple form like this where they can select a buddy that matches their needs. Now, we didn't do anything fancy here. We could have had a lot of conditions here, based on the department they're selecting, which list is there. But we basically just had we have a list that we call the buddy selection, which is built in the list section of journeys, and we just add that list, and then it's super easy to just pick the right person from any field here. You just go to the list sections and pick whatever list you're looking at, and there you can add as many options as you want. And so whenever you're adding a form like the one we're doing, you can basically add options both where you can see the labels of the options. You can see that you're picking a certain person's name or with some additional information that's important, and then also include their email. Lists can also be added in a more fancy way where you have a certain source where they originate from. But in this demo, we're just going to kind of build this list out manually, add it to a form so that you can pick the buddy right here. So once this buddy has been picked right here by the supervisor, we've now kind of started the journey itself. So remember, we had a traveler going to this journey. They got a confirmation when they kind of filled in some basic details. The supervisor was immediately asked to pick a buddy for them. And this could have happened like 100 days ago, right? This could have happened whenever this individual was signed. But now the journey is just going to go into wait mode, and it's going to wait until 7 days before the first workday for this new hire. Now, 7 days before the first workday, a few things are going to happen simultaneously. Because we have a branch here, we've decided that a text is going to go out to the new hire, just reminding them that this is their first workday, and that there's and also that who is assigned as their buddy. And here, because we had a form where we were able to pick, and I can just show you how we do this. You just click the plus sign, you click the form that the supervisor picked out, and you remember they were able to pick a buddy, and we're gonna add the label here, so you can just see, this individual is gonna be your buddy. They'll meet you at the reception at 9 at the front desk, and then if you have some questions, you can send an email here. We're also going to do another task. We're going to send a form out to the buddy that was selected, right? So we have the email of the buddy, and we're gonna send them an email. We're gonna say, you are a buddy for a new team member, and then their name, and it's gonna encourage them to go to this link and make sure that they have their checklist ready to have everything organized before they start. And remember, this is sent out 7 days before. And there can also be added reminders here in this form, reminding them to, if this hasn't been completed, like 8 days after they've started or 7 days, to really send those reminders out. But just for the simplicity reasons, we're gonna just do these 3 things now. Send the traveler a reminder. A week from now you're gonna start, and send the buddy a reminder to fill out this checklist. Now the buddy can take a look at this checklist, and it just, in this case, in this example, it just has a few tasks that they have to remember to do, such as introduce them to colleagues, show them the kind of lunch area, and make sure to do invite them to lunch together for the first week, show the bike storage, just whatever list makes the most sense in your organization. So it completed these 2 tasks immediately, and then again it goes into waiting mode. Now it's going to wait until the first workday of the individual, and just to see how this is configured, you can add what's called a wait action, and you can have something called a reference date. And in this case, because they've filled out information about their first workday, we can use that as a reference date. We could also have it before the date or after the date and include how many days we're talking about. But in this case, we're going to wait until the reference date itself, and we're going to trigger a number of actions then. So just a brief recap. We've sent a form to the new hire. They've filled out some details about their hobbies and things like that. They got a confirmation. We asked the supervisor to select the buddy. We waited until 7 days before they started. We then sent the new hire a reminder that they're about to start and who is going to be their buddy. We sent the buddy a task list of what they're going to do. And now we're in a stage where we're waiting until their first workday. Now, the new hire, they're just going to get a text. And we're going to send this text out at 7 o'clock in the morning and just kind of send a brief reminder like, hey, we can't wait to have you. Your buddy name here is waiting at the front desk at 9. And it's going to include their email, and also just if something comes up, it's also going to include your supervisor's email and phone. So you really have all the info you need for this particular first day of work in context of the buddy. Now the buddy is also going to get a reminder, just like, hey, there's a person arriving in 2 hours and you're their buddy. Make sure to kind of meet them and show them around. And then hopefully the first days are going to go well. And then 3 days after their first work day, and you can notice we've picked the first work day and we've selected that this should trigger 3 days after, we're again going to send a reminder to the buddy. Just remember to go over the checklist and ensure that they've finished, they feel well, and if they have any questions, to check it out. And then again, it's going to do another reminder 2 weeks after they've started, and it's going to do another check-in with the buddy. So it's always going to point at the buddy and asking the buddy to reach out to the new hire to make sure that they're comfortable in a new workplace. And the final step here, which is also pretty important, is the feedback form and the continuous feedback that we always recommend building into these types of journeys. And that is to send this feedback form 2 weeks after the buddy has started, to simply ask the buddy, share your feedback on your onboarding experience. And what we can do here is we've built this simple form here where we basically asked the buddy to share their experience of how it was to be welcomed and assisted in the first 2 weeks. once they have filled this out, we're going to send an email. And this email is going to go to the supervisor of the new hire and the new buddy, and potentially more players. It could be people in HR, or people managing these journeys, or who are responsible for building this particular one. And it's just going to share exactly how the experience was, and what they actually wrote in the form itself. And so we're able to say something like, we asked our new hire, how was your experience? And what they replied was the following. And because we have access to the form that they filled out, which is the feedback form here, we can pick whatever question it was that they had, like how was your experience, and we can actually showcase all the information that's put in there directly in this particular email. Now, again, this is just a simple way to showcase the journey. To then actually trigger the journey, what you do is that you add people to the journey itself. So you basically click a simple button up here, and you click Add to Journey, and you can either create an individual from here just manually by adding some inputs, or you can add them from a list that you already have access to, that you've kind of synced with the system itself. And in this case, we already added one traveler, and what you can do is simply click that person's name, click Start, and then if this was your new hire, the journey just started. The first form was sent out, and until the new hire has filled out this form, it's going to wait by executing all the next steps, and it's always going to stop until a certain action has finished to trigger the next action in line. So I really hope that you enjoyed this new hire buddy program, and looking forward to hearing what kind of buddy programs you build, and please remember to share it with us and the community to improve the process overall. Thank you so much for listening.